Can you leave us, please, Anne?
Don't play games with me, sunshine. I've played them all before and I've won them all before. And believe me, by the time we're through, I'm going to know what your granny's favourite perfume is. Have you got it, Buster?
TV sex symbol Kate O'Mara, porn star turned soap star Tracy Lord. We meet snooker king Ronnie O'Sullivan and find out how life is treating some of Grange Hill's old schoolmates. Plus, Alan goes to Animal House and secrets from the Oasis closet. Performing live tonight, Craig Mack, Royal Trux and Pizzicato 5.
The last but one short of word in the present series. Now, I mean, a lot of people have written us off, but we're a bit like the Flasher who was going to retire and then probably decided to stick it out for another year.
Now, as you all know, it is St. Patrick's Day, and a lot of you are probably just stumbling in from the pub right now after getting drunk silly on all that green Guinness. Well, our Alan is going to send you into green envy because he's in the Sunshine State of Florida, living it up. Alan.
Howdy, London. I'm in Panama City on the Gulf of Mexico with 100,000 students. Because when the college kids in America break up for their Easter holidays, they don't go and work in a post office. Hi, guys. They come to Florida for their spring break. We'll be finding out exactly how they fill their hours on the beach presently. And now it's over to you, Europe.
Oh, I think they're going to spend their time Spend some time. Thank you. And I didn't got to the punchline yet. I think they'll probably spend their time kicking sand in his face. That's what they did to me whenever I went down the beach in the States. Anyway, kicking us off tonight in fine style, some real rock and roll. Give it up, please, to Royal Trux, a night to remember. called Trux, A Night to Remember, and their album Thank You is in the shops at this moment as I speak. Bit of a rowdy lot tonight. I think they've all been knocking it back. St. Patrick's Day, and they didn't get a free trip to Ireland either.
Being good at snooker has always been the sign of a misspent youth. In the 80s, the image of the game came over all respectable and dull, but the world that surrounds it is usually neither. Today, the most talked about snooker star is Ronnie O'Sullivan, a 19-year-old Essex boy with loads of money and an interesting history. Ronnie O'Sullivan is no dull snooker star, and it's all down to his fast, slick style on the table and his glamorous Essex boy lifestyle of fast cars and even faster women. He's already the youngest winner of a Masters tournament, and it's £120,000 prize money, proving that misspending your youth can pay off.
If it had been my dad's choice, he'd have had me in a snooker all day, you know. But my mum, she was just hell-bent on me going to school all the time. So I just used to go to school and then, like, by about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, used to just go down to snooker.
And who needs O-levels when your family have loads of money and you live in a posh house in the heart of birds of a feather country in Chigwell? The family are rich, and with a little help from Ronnie's manager, top snooker and boxing promoter Barry Hearn, Ronnie will be even richer.
We could earn a fortune. Was it £1 million a year, or who knows? But whatever's out there, I'll get for him.
I could live off £100 a week. All I do is just spend most of my time in the snook. I've never sandwich every day, and I don't really do anything apart from that.
Ronnie is so blasé about money, he even turned down one promoter's offer of 50 grand to sign him up.
Yeah, but I mean, 50,000 isn't a lot of money.
Ronnie spends more than that on cars alone, though he'll be saving a few quid when he loses his licence. He's currently facing a driving ban after being caught speeding in his flash BMW.
I've been told that Ronnie O'Sullivan is the worst driver in the world, and I have no intentions of getting anywhere near a car with him.
He's got a nice car. He's probably going to lose his licence for doing 135 miles an hour, and quite rightly too. That's against the law. If you do anything against the law, you've got to be punished, and he will be punished, I'm sure.
You're only young once. I mean, maybe when I'm 35, the buzz of driving a car will probably have gone, so at the moment I enjoy driving.
And if fast cars are one of Ronnie's weaknesses, fast women are another. His groupies even caught up with him before his appearance on snooker game show The Big Break. But Ronnie is shy about girls.
I'm still a virgin. Everything I do, you know, it's just casual, you know. I mean, I've never really get involved with a girl that's serious where... But, I mean, I just have them as friends and someone to go out with when you're away, you know. It's nice to go out and have a bit of female company now and again.
I have no idea what Ronnie gets up to in his private life, and I'm sure if he says he's a clean-living young lad, he is.
And if you're a top snooker stud from Essex, it's important to attract the right sort of girls.
I suppose the girls are a bit loose around Essex, I suppose.
Are they?
Yeah.
Ronnie's been making plenty of headlines on his own, but what first got the tabloids in a frenzy was his family background. For a start, his dad, Ronnie Sr., is Mr. Big in London Soho with a chain of lucrative pawn shops.
And my dad was he's a shrewd businessman.
But Ronnie Sr. now runs his business from Gartree Jail in Leicestershire, where he's 3 years into a life sentence for stabbing and killing Charlie Craze driver Bruce Bryan, in what the judge, Mr. Justice Hobhouse, called a very unpleasant attack, which includes elements of racial harassment.
It's unfortunate what's happened, you know, but, you know, life still goes on. You can't sort of, like, say, right, that's happened, we're going to stop. Everyone gets on with what they've got to do. And that makes him feel better that we're not dropping our heads and waiting for him to come home and then start. We're getting on with our lives. And it gives him an interest, you know, inside there, with me doing my thing and my mum, you know, getting on with carrying on the business.
I think he misses his dad. I mean, it's natural. He's very close with his father. We've talked about it. He has come to terms with the situation. They're a closely knit family. And I think everyone's fairly protective of Ronnie as well. You know, his mum still phones me up and worries about him, which is nice.
But she needn't worry too much. Ronnie's perfectly capable of looking after himself.
I think it's pretty certain that one day Ronnie O'Sullivan will win the World Championships.
He physically and mentally frightens you to death when you're playing against Ronnie O'Sullivan.
I read that when you played for championships, you dedicated always to your dad.
The first one was I wanted it to be for him, but now it's just all for myself.
As we showed you last week, the World Surprise Show is a terrific television programme. It's the show that flies extraordinary people in from around the world and relishes in their particular assets. Can you guess what a tremendous find they have in this room? Yes, it's 23-year-old Nelson Aquino de la Rosa. At only 68 centimetres tall, Nelson is one of the smallest people in the world, but it hasn't stopped Nelson earning a living making personal appearances on shows worldwide. Young De La Rosa's first questionable task is serving tea to giants who have been flown in especially. That done, Nelson took his teddy bear routine from the TV studio to the shop window. Finally, Nelson gets to leap out from a bag, frightening the unsuspecting public. Nice one, Nelson. Have a well-deserved drink.
Well, we've all got to make a living. I thought, have you been to Japan?
No, I never have. I should love to go.
I'd like to go. I think they're all insane. Sorry about that. OK, we will be back after the break with some of these goodies. See you then.
Which Hollywood star spent $50,000 on his mother-in-law during a shopping spree? Was it Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, John Travolta, or Tom Cruise? Find out after the break.
The Word.
We asked you which star spent $50,000 on his mother-in-law during a shopping spree. The answer is Tom Cruise. Don't worry, Tom. Mum's the word.
Welcome back to The Word. I'm sorry I can't be with you, London. I'm here in Panama City and I've just made some friends. Hi, ladies. It's pretty laid back here in Florida, and I'm not sure I can even be bothered to introduce the next band, so please, tell us, who is it?
Craig Mack with Get Down.
What you got? Put your hands in the air, UK. We gon' get on down with the funk flame. Now who got the flame? Coming down with us and that keeps them buzzing. Thinking that they fat when they wasn't. Welcome to the world of Mack. I'm back in there. When you small like sand, eat us like Pac-Man. I'm incredible. Better eat your vegetable. Cause I does what I do. I fake the roof off the soft sucker, super smacking, macking, full effect, mic check, 1, 2. I'm a rain forever. Rain like bad weather, rain like whoever never. They can't bite my style, cause my style ain't a style. It's a style, so I can go buck wild. Bet you think that you got more room for flow, it ain't so. Blame it in the air, let you know. Now I'm about a second from the hook, scracking rap book. Before you get your wet style shook. Can I get down? Get on down, get on down. Can I get down? Get on down. Funk with the flames. Can I get down? Can I get down? You can't put your hands in the air. Funk, get on down. Can I get down? Get on down. Can I get down? The Mack's like a superintendent. Burning MCs needs to foul sick. See, I'm like what you call King of Yes, y'all. My style's big. Sick, I mean real sick. Stuff squad. Stuff stick. Yeah. Come with the ammo. Real whammo, slammo, stuff that I be dropping. And I wait, plate. Let's warm up the hot plate. I'll change the flame from a neck. I'm a cast ray. Ha! My rap comes to alien neck. Shake your butt till it's late. Don't butt dominate. See, I ain't scared to other brothers. To me, you're all suckers. I make the ruckers. Don't try to buck us. Roll bullet roof. No goof on the roof.
was Craig Mack there with Get Down, and that will be released in the shops from Monday. And check out his debut album, Project The Funk the World, and that will be in the shops from now.
Welcome back to Panama City in Florida, where the cream of America's university-educated youth come to just hang out and enjoy their Easter holidays. OK, let's find out basically what they're here for. Guys, what are you here for? Girls! Girls and ladies, what are you here for?
Go!
Rather simple urges like heifers in a field. OK, now, they've got certain ways of relating to each other here, certain games, so let's find out about them. Hi, Dave, what's going on over here?
Well, here we have some of our crazy and wacky games. Right here.
What's this one?
Right here we have the Lorena Bobbitt Weenie Toss, where our blindfolded lady throws the weenies back where they belong, and in this case, back in the cup.
OK, well, let's...
There she goes.
Hey, you missed one. Let's try and get that one in, and you're thrusting it. Have another go with that one there. Have another bash.
I like it! Woo!
What sort of animal do you feel?
Yeah, I like it! The lion!
A lion?
The lion!
Okay, best of luck to you. Now, Dave, what's this game here?
Well, this game we call Thread the Needle, where the lady practices the skills of hovering. In other words, she dips down to place the pencil in the test tube.
I see, that's good. Do you enjoy the game?
It's awesome!
Is it a lot of fun?
Yeah!
Does it give you a sense of pride?
Oh, yeah.
Dignity?
No, probably not.
Does it give you sexual feelings?
Oh, no.
It doesn't? OK. Right, you enjoy yourself. There's one other game we've got to check out. You might enjoy this one. And Mark here is going to explain this. Mark, what is the Fiesta Resistance?
This is the Spinnaker Zone Pump the Babe competition.
Babe meaning infant?
No, meaning a fine young individual of the female species.
And what exactly happens?
We have a young stud come up and lift her as many times over his head as he can.
Why?
Basically, guys want to brag on pumping the babe the most times.
OK, let's see you do your stuff then. You pump that babe. What's it like pumping a babe?
Feels good, feels good.
Does it make you feel like, you know, some sort of raunchy sexual stud of an animal?
I'm the man.
How often do you pump babes?
As many times as I want to.
Do you think before you pump them, or do you just go and pump them?
I just pump.
And, you're a university student, right?
Yes.
What do you study?
Babes.
You study babes. Babeology, the study of babes. OK, well, as you've seen, people come here, they forget about their spelling bees for a couple of weeks, and they just hang out and succumb to exactly what comes naturally, their animalistic urges. It's a lot of fun, and we're going back to you, London.
There's Alan.
Which one of these stars ran over an innocent pedestrian whilst filming a driving sequence? Was it Don Johnson, James Garner, Ted Danson, or George Burns? Find out after the break.
The word.
Steve.
Oh, Anne, just give me 5 more minutes. I know he's going to talk. I know he is.
We asked you which one of these stars ran over an innocent pedestrian whilst filming a driving sequence. The answer is James Garner. What a silly stunt.
On the 8th of February 1978, Grange Hill Comprehensive opened its gates for the very first time.
17 years later, it's still the most popular children's programme in the UK, turning out generation after generation of child prodigy. And this is where it all began.
Like any school, Grange Hill has had its share of successful students. Todd Carty and Suzanne Tully became famous EastEnders, and John Alford went on to put out fires in London's burning. Patsy Palmer, Letitia Dean and Naomi Campbell all started their careers earning 15 quid a day as extras on the show. But have you ever wondered what happened to all the rest of those chirpy, lippy Londoners we knew and loved? Wonder no more. The very first pupil to walk through the gates on that opening show was Benny Green. Benny got away without wearing a uniform because his parents couldn't afford it. He was a footballing genius, and he became one of the most popular characters in the history of the show.
I was playing football in the park, and the director of Grange Hill saw me just juggling the ball about and asked me if I'd like to be in it. And I thought, yeah, it'd be great. Just play football all day, not go to school.
Any questions? Yes, Green.
When do we have football, sir?
No, I meant sensible questions, Green.
I missed quite a lot of school, so subsequently afterwards I had to go back and do my O-levels and A-levels and stuff like that. But I probably did a lot more things than other kids would have done, you know?
In spite of his qualifications, these days Terry works in a clothes shop between acting jobs. A far cry from the days when he was king of the hill.
Hey, don't kick that ball around there. It'll break the windows.
Walking down these corridors, it's difficult not to feel nostalgic. This is where Tucker Jenkins was told to stop running, where Gripper Stebson terrorised first formers. In these corridors, television legends were made.
One such legend was Zammo, brought to life by actor Lee McDonald. Nowadays, Lee's training to be a locksmith, but his first love is boxing, which he teaches part-time.
What I wanted to be was a boxer. The acting was something I was doing at school and I enjoyed it and it was good fun, but all my life I wanted to be a boxer. I went to turn professional, I went to see a promoter and I was offered a contract, and then I had a car accident and I had like 30-odd stitches in my head, and obviously after that head injury you can't box anymore. That's probably the saddest moment of my life, really, because that's what I wanted to do, and it never works out for me.
In case you don't remember, Zammo was the tough guy turned smack addict that inspired the cast to release the anti-drugs anthem of the 80s.
Just say no.
Say no. The single rocketed to number 5, and the Grange Hill cast set off on a promotional tour of the US, where they met the anti-drugs campaigning First Lady, Nancy Reagan.
I was sat next to her because I was quiet and sitting there with my little white socks on and that. But I was so overcome by it all, I just... it's not till now you look back and I go, Christ, that was like... It was really good fun. But then it was too much for me, really, I think.
Leafing through my Grange Hill annual, I realised that there was one cast member I had to find. Roland Browning. Roly was persecuted for years because he was a fat kid with glasses.
What are you wearing your blazer like that for, Roly?
Heaven Valen, I'm warning you.
But what happened to the actor who portrayed him? Fear not, he's alive and well and working in Ilford.
I work for a friend in his record shop a couple of days a week. I do a bit of labouring here and there for people, and I've just set up a promotion company called Cheesy Promotions.
Was your life at all like Roland's?
Roland? No, it wasn't. Roland's life was a bit sad. He had no friends, nobody liked him. Okay, Janet, but he hated her, really. Well, yeah, I think he hated her. She just bugged him all the time.
I thought you went home for lunch, Roland. Well done.
I think she was about 8 or 9, and the first day was filming, she came out with Roland, and everybody loved it, and, I mean, I still get it today. Roland, just want to be your friend, Roland.
Hey, Roland, what did the conductor sling you off the bus for this morning? Trying to pay my fare.
15, and you've got these screaming girls running down the street after you, and you've got, like, a couple of £100 in your pocket, and that is like... Wow.
How suddenly did it end?
Very suddenly. It finishes like that. It's like when you leave school. It's there 1 minute, gone the next, and they're bringing new people in, and you're forgotten.
Well, I thought my future would leave Grange Hill straight into another programme, then onto something else, maybe Hollywood one day, and then you face reality, I suppose, and you get out there and you think there's a hell of a lot of other actors out there.
My pal, my man.
After all of these years.
We're back, because I ain't seen you for like 7 years, 8 years. 8 years. It's unbelievable coming back after such a long time. So many memories just flood back, don't they?
I know what you're thinking. I know. Unfortunate. Not a lot of success from that particular school, was there? And it looked like an advert for Millet's, didn't it? Look at that. Now, you were saying before, though, but I just bumped into you in the corridor and you said that you'd come across my face sometime. But I didn't think you meant it in that way. Well, thank you very much.
Well, you know what it was? You swim, don't you? You wear Speedos, don't you?
No.
You don't? You stay at the Metropole, don't you?
Yeah. We don't want to brag at you, tell the whole world and its wife, you know. Get me in some right
See,
trouble.
I told you. I knew that was you.
Well, I was going to ask you which one of your old videos should I splash out on. I don't mean it that way. OK, listen...
Yes, you do. Which is precisely why I brought you a lovely little photo to remind you that things can be embarrassing.
Of course, they certainly can, can't they? Now
But there's always implant surgery.
All right, don't rub it in. Well, you can later on if you want. Again, where's the security? OK, now we are moving on to my hometown of Manchester, and two very likely lads who, I suppose, if they were going to be reading the Bible today, because I know they're good Catholic lads, would be looking at that bit, live by the sword, die by the sword. Have a look at this.
Red Nose Day. Liam Gallagher once sang that he was feeling supersonic and that we should give him gin and tonic. Well, it seems that on the 28th of February he was, and somebody did, 40 to be precise. And it all got a little out of hand for old Liam and his chum in Manchester's Dry Bar, as this security footage reveals. The initial incident takes place off-camera, but we have an eyewitness report of the entire event.
Well, basically, Liam was in all day, having a few drinks. Around about 7 o'clock, Liam went down to the toilet, came back up, sat in front of the kitchen area, in front of a girl and a fella. And then something was said, which obviously annoyed this girl's fella, and they started to hit Liam. He got smacked in the nose about. Well, the guy had him by the hair, was sort of giving him uppercuts into the face about six times. And the fight was broken up by a member of staff. Liam was sort of pushed to the back area of the bar and trying to push him out through the back doors. And at which point his friend sort of went completely berserk and started smashing glasses and throwing vases, quite expensive vases and what have you, around the bar. And it just developed into a total melee, basically. And eventually quelled by the security staff and the management. And Liam was let out the back door.
It's all a bit of a blur. Eh, Liam?
Well, typically Manchester City fans, and can I just say as well that is not a typical night out in Manchester.
Definitely not. There are no guns, Terry.
Yeah, no guns. No, listen, we don't want to talk about that. Finally, on a rock and roll tip, of course, you did do the video with the Manic Street Preachers, Little Baby Nothing. I mean, how do you feel about the Richie being missing? Are you very concerned about that?
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird. I hope he's just gone off somewhere on holiday.
Well, I certainly do as well. Thank you for joining us tonight, Tracy. Thanks for the photo. You're going to sign it for us later on. Thank you very much, Kate. Look forward to seeing you in Absolutely Fabulous on April the 6th. And that's it from this week.
Yeah, join us next week in our last in our present series of The World. We've got music from J-Pack, Grandmaster Flash, Duran Duran, and I'll be meeting Jim Carrey. But now here's Japan's coolest combo, Pizzicato 5 with Twiggy Twiggy.
Here am I looking for a lost button when you, Harrison, sought the very ark itself. What do you seek now? Atlantis or the love of a sweet woman?